Good morning. Today I'm going to make the most of my extensive scrap pile and build what I can with what I have. Let's get right into it.
Good morning. Glad you could join me. So, the big problem I've been dealing with lately has been finances. Big shocker there. I mean, I have enough to live on. I can afford gas and some food, but what I can't afford right now is lumber for all the projects that I had planned this summer, which really sucks because, as you can see by all of the fluff around here, summer's in full swing, and I would like nothing more than to dive into all those things and get a lot done. I'm working with some sponsors to fix that money problem soon, but until that happens, what do I do with myself? That's a question I've been asking a lot. And fortunately, I think I've come up with the answer. Now, while I can't afford to buy any new lumber, I do have all of this stuff that has just been sitting under the cabin for the past year or so. Something to know about me, I cannot stand clutter, and the only reason I haven't burned all of this stuff is because I don't think you guys would ever forgive me for it. And I don't really blame you, because this is a lot of decent lumber that can be turned into useful things. So I figured, since I have all of this and another pile basically of about this size under the cabin, I should do what I can with what I have until I can afford something new. So for today's video, I think I'm just going to make as much as I can with what I have here, all the little projects that I wanted to get done, and anything that's left over at the end of that I will burn. But there's a lot that we can do with this, so I think we should get started. And what better place to start than actually finishing the project from the last video. Let's get to it.
Putting together the drawers seems like a straightforward process on the surface, but to get a passably tight fit and a smooth-ish slide mechanism with just scraps, I need to be a bit more precise than I usually want to be. But there's definitely still some leeway for error in there too, since nothing will be visible except the face of the drawer itself. So I got started with those. Once I had the pieces that would make up the drawer faces cut to size, I put on the first layer of paint and got them looking a bit more like the rest of the desk. While I waited for those to dry, I got to work on cutting up the rest of the pieces that would make up the bulk of the drawer itself. Assembly was straightforward, but tedious. I had to keep switching back and forth between different bits. I had to pre-drill the holes, and then go back with the Phillips head to put in the screws. It was time-consuming, but by mid-morning, I had the first of the drawers completely put together.
I'm gonna take a break, because these are not fun to make. At all. Yeah. Alright, I did some organizing. One of the biggest reasons I actually wanted to get some good drawers, because I need storage space very, very badly. And I spend a lot of time moving things around. And look at this. Nice, beautiful storage space. Oh, it's so wonderful. I'm not going to film any more of building these because not only are these not fun to build whatsoever, but filming close to the floor in this cabin is really, really terrible for lighting. So I'm not going to deal with it.
With the drawers done, it was time to get started on another project. I try to post most of my videos on Sunday, but that hasn't happened for a few weeks now. So I really wanted to make sure I could get this one out today to get myself back on track. I bring this up because that's what I was thinking when picking a new project. I need something small and quick that I can make some real progress on in the short time I have to make this video. And the obvious answer was birdhouses. I have a real soft spot for nature in general, but birds especially have really grown on me in the past few years, and I want to have as many as I can living on and around the property. Plus, they're about as simple to make as gingerbread houses, and that kind of simplicity is always a win in my book. At first I thought I would paint them a more varied range of colors, but I think that a bright red and this nice greenish blue color are good bases to work off of, and are a pleasing color palette to scatter around the property when they're done. But I still wanted to add a bit more color. So last night I got out the paints again, made myself a coffee, and started playing around with some floral additions to one of the green boxes. I'm loosely basing these off of these beautiful purple flowers that are in bloom everywhere up here right now. I'm not sure what they're called, but again, this is just a loose approximation. They definitely ended up being a 10-foot finish kind of paint job, as most of the paints weren't really in the best condition, which probably happens to most paint when they're stored at -30 and below for extended periods of time, but really all I was looking for was an extra bit of color, and they accomplished that just fine. To finish this box, I still had a bit of work to do though. Of course I have to do some kind of perch, so I started by putting in a hole for that, and afterward I made an attempt at putting in the main hole. Emphasis on attempt. I genuinely have no idea what happened here. It was a very stupid mistake, but I got the carnage cleaned up in a minute or two, and finished putting in the perch.
And that's going to just about wrap it up for today. I'm sorry I didn't get to do more with all this. I didn't have very much time. This has been a pretty busy week, as you might imagine, as this is video number 3, coming out within the last, I think, 4 or 5 days. As of this week, I am back to my normal schedule, and I should have something for you next Sunday. I'm gonna try my best. Take that promise for whatever it's worth. I've really enjoyed all of these projects, and I have a much better appreciation for all the scrap that I'm left with, and I'm gonna be working through that pile for a very, very long time. And there's a lot left that I could do with it, and I've barely made a scratch in it. So if you have any projects that you'd like me to build with all this scrap, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to hear it, and I very well may use that in the next video. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mick, and until next time, stay warm out there. You guys have a good day.